Oh, somebody has to start. I think
Oh,
everybody
yeah,
has
you
a
have to click the button, right? There we go.
Science news and ASL, monarch butterfly. Hey everybody! Today our science topic is monarch butterflies. So monarch butterflies are orange and black, and their wings have this beautiful sort of stained glass pattern on them. Here you see a monarch butterfly on a milkweed plant. So monarch butterflies go through a cycle called complete metamorphosis. It starts when they are eggs, and it goes on to where they are larvae, which are caterpillars. Larva is singular. And then they eat and they fatten themselves up and they become a pupa, hanging upside down. And then after the pupa, they burst out and become butterflies. And here you see the monarch life cycle right here. So the eggs, the butterflies actually lay their eggs on a plant called a milkweed plant.
Wow.
Only on milkweed. See, monarch butterflies practice monophagy, which means their whole lives they depend on just one plant, one food source, and that's what that food source is, the milkweed plant. Now when the butterflies land, they're not there to eat the plant, they're there to lay their eggs. Now the eggs, when they hatch, they become the caterpillars, and the caterpillars actually eat the milkweed that they've been hatched on. Milkweed has a toxic substance in it, and if you break a milkweed plant open, there's this sticky sap inside of it. Here you see it right here, it's white, which gives the plant its name. So the caterpillars eat this milkweed, and it's fine, it doesn't hurt them at all, but their body now has toxins inside of them. And then when they grow up and they become butterflies, they still have the milkweed toxin inside of them. And that is a form of protection. When the birds come to try to eat a delicious butterfly, they're disgusting because they're full of this milkweed toxin.
Toxic.
So a big topic in the news right now is the dwindling monarch butterfly population. You can see here in this graph, and here where they show some alarming numbers, and here in a third graph, further illustrating. So in 2012, I saw in the news in the Midwest, 1993 to 2001, 80% of monarch butterfly, there was an 80% drop in monarch butterfly populations very rapidly. It's a very big cause for concern. Now in wintertime, monarch butterflies will migrate en masse to a certain area in Mexico to overwinter because it's warmer down there, as you see in this migratory chart. Now since 1993, they've actually recorded the smallest number of monarch butterfly populations ever. Here's a picture of a monarch field in Michoacan, Mexico, as you can see. Now this farm area, now I grew up in a farm area in the the mid-70s to the 80s, and I was actually paid to pull milkweed plants out of soybean fields, corn fields. It was my job. I earned 5 cents for every plant that I pulled, and you would just get so sticky. I mean, you can't lick it, of course, it's toxic. Now, research has shown that that's actually a bad thing. We're using insecticides to kill bad bugs, which is killing the caterpillars as well, and then we're using herbicides, which are killing all the weeds, such as milkweed. And so the milkweed, there's just not enough left to support the monarch butterfly population. They're trapped. What are they going to do? They depend on this one food, and the food source isn't there. And here's a list showing why, some of the many reasons why monarch populations are declining. So I keep a nature journal. And as I was driving down the highway, I decided to, as I was driving down the highway, I saw monarch butterflies. So I decided to keep this journal in the year 2000 when my family went from Missouri to visit family in Minnesota. We drove the whole way. So as I'm driving, down the road, I see these butterflies and I decide to count the number of butterflies that I see and what happens to them if they get hit or, if other things happen. And I decided to focus just on monarchs. So we were going to a city named Ottumwa, and then between that city and Ames, Iowa, 150 miles, 2 hours of driving. And I'm looking, and so I'm counting all these butterflies that I see, and I'm summarizing my findings in my nature notebook. And all these butterflies are flying across my path, and I hit 3 of them. There was nothing that could be done. They just hit the windshield. And so driving back home to Missouri, so again I'm counting the number of butterflies between Albert and Story City, Iowa, which is 106 miles. It's about an hour and a half drive between the 2 cities. And, I'm being diligent in counting these butterflies, and I saw 19 monarchs, and I hit 2 of them. So that's a 10%, that's 10% of the number of butterflies that I saw. And I'm just one person hitting all these butterflies. I hit 5 butterflies out of 39. Think about all the drivers behind me. I can't be the only one hitting monarchs. And that's a lot of butterflies dying just because we're driving and hitting them. And so all of these things together are causing the rapid decline in monarch populations. So when I got to, at my own house, I decided to start planting milkweed plants. And as I planted these plants and they grew in my yard, I started seeing more butterflies showing up and laying little yellow eggs on the plants. And I was super stoked because I knew they were going to become caterpillars, just like we see here. And now you also want to plant other flowers that produce nectar, because the adult butterflies eat the nectar. They land on the flower and then they drink the nectar up. And so it's really fantastic to watch just so many butterflies in my yard. So I encourage you all to plant more milkweed to support the baby, to support the caterpillars, and plants such as those listed here produce nectar for the adult butterflies. And you can actually go to any nursery in your area and ask an employee to help you. Tell them, I really want to help monarch butterfly populations, so I really need some plants such as milkweed and other nectar producing plants, and they can give you some suggestions. It'll make you feel really great to know that you're helping butterfly populations increase. Now, another important topic with monarchs is Batesian mimicry. And what that means is an animal will copy something about another animal to prevent themselves from being eaten, such as the viceroy butterfly. The viceroy butterfly has the same coloration and the same patterns on the wings as a monarch, but they're not toxic the way a monarch is. But birds still don't want to eat them. And so they've copied that. And a bird sees that orange and black color and they think, oh, no way, no, I'm not going to eat that. I know it's toxic. And here you can see the two next to each other and how similar they look.